Welcome back to Heroic Book Adventures. I'm Steve, and today we're going to take a look at Neil Gaiman's Norse Mythology. These tell all the most popular tales, starting with the creation story and moving through all the fun ones of the various gods that you've probably heard of before: Odin, Thor, Loki, Frey and Freya, Balder, the various giants, and then concludes with the final Ragnarok, the Destiny of the Gods story. And right in the introduction, he said that he did not intend for these to be direct word for word translations of the original source material. He wanted it to be just a more casual retelling of those tales, but meant to be more accessible for modern day audiences. And he did a real good job with it. You know, a lot of times just direct translations, there's a lot of things missing in it. But this felt like just a good storyteller sitting around a campfire speaking to an audience. They would know when to create suspense in the story and when to make everybody laugh. And that's what you feel like reading through these. They're very funny stories. You know, these gods are not perfect. They are full of faults and end up finding themselves in all kinds of unique situations they've got to get out of. Knowing how the internet works, I'm sure that if I were to look up other reviews of this, there's probably people that would poo-poo on something like this because there's a lot of gatekeeping that you can only read the original source material. But I really disagree with that sentiment because uh, why should somebody force themselves to read the Eddas and the sagas if for whatever reason they're not enjoying it? Something like this makes it accessible for people to really taste test it first. I really think that probably 99% of people that are interested in Norse mythology and culture, this is really a good entry point for them. Say you just have heritage, or you really enjoyed the Vikings television show, or just for whatever reason you're interested in it. This is something you can read, really enjoy, and then from there determine for yourself, do you want to dig deeper into it, or was this good enough to whet your appetite? So then from here, someone can decide to go back to the Eddas and the sagas if that's what they want to do. And if you really want to sit at the adult table in the mead hall, geez, these are heavy. What I would recommend is looking for Maria Kvilhaug's books. I've got The Great Knowledge and the Seed of Yggdrasil. Now, don't look at these as just a casual read, because this is the deep end of the pool. So only get into these if you're really serious about the subject. But they are the most in-depth academic treatment of this subject that I'm aware of. So, and see, my puny stands can't even hold up to the mighty power of these tomes. But I'll also link below. Maria has a YouTube page, and if you're into Norwegian history, lore, old languages, pre-Christian religions, those kind of things, Maria's really cool, so go check her out. Now, you can get Norse mythology without the illustrations like in this edition. I'm sure it'd be a lot cheaper that way. But I thought that the illustrations really add a lot to it. I'm not going to lie to you, heroes. I like picture books. You know, they're a lot easier to read. But these were done by Levi Pinfold. And just great designs all around. The insides, the covers have pictures there. Bookmarked a couple here. You have Loki's wife in that story. Hell. Thor's fishing trip that ends up in disaster when he snags the Mythgard serpent. It's a cool one. Uh, Loki, at one point, he's very known for being very mischievous. And one of his punishments for something he did is he's got to make all the gods laugh. So he steps outside and brings a goat in. He ties a rope to the goat's beard and then the other end of the rope to his private parts and then tugs on the goat, and the goat starts tugging back. And so Loki's screaming in pain, and all the gods are sitting around drinking and laughing. That was a pretty good story. Yeah, very nice looking. Fenrir, he's a big puppy. But yeah, this is beautifully done. And I think the pictures add a lot when you're reading through the story, and then you get in the middle of the story to a full page layout of what's going on, and it just captivates your imagination. So this is one of those books that I'll definitely be returning to just reread every now and then, because they're short and simple and just fun, and that's what reading's all about, is having fun, right? So I'll also be digging deeper into stuff like this. I really like learning about Northern European cultures because that's just my thing. But I also like things like this where it's just good fun tellings of the stories. And like I said, I believe this is a great entry point for someone who's interested in the subject. This is an 8.5 out of 10 for me. So if you're interested and want just simple to digest tellings of these stories, don't be afraid to check this out. And I will see you Viking heroes in Valhalla.